Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today we are revisiting the Cremator. The weapon that we have for a while now. Very interesting one. And what has changed over the years, of course, it was very super powerful, the nerfed, buffed, balance, back and forth a little bit until it ended up in the spot it is now, and what I will showcase here. It is mainly a DoT weapon, so I will cover as well DoT mechanics that are involved, what works, what doesn't work with your Cremator, what is the actual damage of the Cremator, and what are the best legendary mods, what can you do with yours, best modification, and so on. And you may wonder why I'm standing next to the Mortimer when I'm talking about it. That's to answer your question where to buy the plan and modifications for the Cremator if you don't have it. You buy it from this guy, Mortimer. Mortimer, you buy it with gold bullion. Mortimer lives inside the crater in the Raiders base. Most likely you need your reputation max out to see all the plans he's supposed to be selling. If you don't have Raiders as ally, you will not see all the plans that's supposed to be there. About modifications for the weapon, what you can use. So there are multiple color options that doesn't affect anything outside of visuals. You will fire different color flames. Then there is a barrel. Double shot, heavy barrel, multi-shot, or standard. Standard is the worst, it's nothing special. The heavy barrel, the heavy barrel is the best damage. The fire rate suffers. The best damage on impact. So if you are actually hitting the target, the barrel itself does not affect amount of damage over time your weapon does. So only the impact damage. If you do plan to use it in VATS to actually hit an enemy, heavy barrel is really good. I personally like multi-shot barrel the most, as you can hit multiple enemies at once and the fire rate is way better. Double shot barrel, some people do like it. I personally never found the best use case for that. 2 is not enough. I prefer 4 projectiles if I want to cover a large area. And if I want the damage, I go for heavy barrel, single shot, high damage. This one does offer better fire rate, just not for me. The standard barrel, not for anyone most likely. Then, proper on tank, you choose between the reload speed and ammo capacity. I would go for the highest ammo capacity, that's what I always do. Less reloads, better than a little bit faster reloads. The most important one is the tank. Slow burning tank, that what gives you the huge damage and huge dots, so damage over time. Then there are different mods that will increase your impact damage if you want to use it as impact weapon, like Napalm Tank. Unfortunately, you will lose most of the dot for just a little bit more impact damage. I do not recommend. I do not recommend to run it this way. I do recommend to run it as a dot weapon, as it is most likely intended to be used as a dot weapon. Now about legendary modifications, as we are discussing modifications, so let's discuss them too. I'm currently not yet at bloodied range, so we'll drop health in a second. Let me show you first amount of damage those weapons do at full health. So I have 2 different ones, so this one will show you actual damages. Now I'm full health, so bloodied effect is not working. So with just the build, almost 1400, that's the dot. Unfortunately, in most case scenario, that will not be enough, but you can easily fix it. If you want to play full health, you can have aristocrats as your prefix, and it will work. Anti-armor does not work, so get it out of the picture. You don't want anti-armor because it will do nothing. It will be a dead prefix. Aristocrats would be really good, or anything else that increases damage, like junkies. Blooded is the best for Cremator. If you can manage it and run it as a blooded build, this is the best. Damage while aiming, that's basically the only second star that works for the Cremator, so that's what you want. Then star number 3 doesn't matter much. For star number 4, you can use Pyromaniacs, which is good, that increases the dot damage. As soon as targets start burning, it is taking more damage, so it is working on your initial shot. It needs a couple seconds to kick in sometimes, but it will work and it will increase your damage. If you want even better mod, so better one, but harder to really maintain and obtain for the last star, is Polished. This one increases damage by 60%, scales really well with DoT, even better than Pyromaniacs, and works instantly from moment of impact, no delay whatsoever. You just need to bother with your health bar being always almost full. For maximum effect, I think it needs to be 180 or 190%. I think over 180 to get this 60%. When you get down to like 150% durability, it's still really good, but it's losing the power. So this is hard to maintain. Hard to maintain 4-star. Pyromaniac's definitely way easier, and that's what I have on my main. What I'm using is normally Pyromaniacs. Now, before I start shooting some enemies, this is what works. Heavy gunner perks do work on this weapon. Grenadier increases the radius that you will set enemies on fire. Of course, defensive perks unrelated in here. Enemy debuffs like Tenderizer will work. The nerd rage when you drop your health will work. But is included for carrying of the ammo. The perk in here, Adrenaline, will work under agility. Everything else, all the onslaught mechanic, does not work with DoT. So nothing really else. Only Adrenaline from agility will work with the DoT. And under luck, only Bloody Mess will work with the DoT. Nothing related to criticals. Critical damage does not affect the DoT. So this weapon is very specific, but in the same time, look how light it is on your build. Look how many cards you can basically save as you don't need to equip. Those cards do not have effect. Now, about legendary perks like taking one for the team and follow through, those are enemy debuffs, so those do work on the Cremator. They will help you out. So unfortunately, in case of the power armor, because anti-armor effects do nothing, so stabilized will not work, and wearing power armor does not help a lot. But there is one thing that you may use, regardless if you use regular armor or power armor. The Ranger's mod will increase damage of the DoT. So Ranger's mod, range weapon deal bonus damage. If you do have it, 25% on full stack. It is very helpful with the Cremator. So this stuff does work. The armor helping stuff does not work. So let me show you Cremator at its full potential. At low health in a moment, but yeah, I know you want to see a little bit how it performs full health, so I will show you that first, and then I drop health. So for the full health scenario, for those of you that will tell me that I have Rangers now and you don't have, but at the same time I will be using the Cremator that has blooded, so it will do nothing. Therefore, it's equivalent to the Cremator that's basically Mutants. Mutants prefix will give you the same damage bonus as Rangers on my power armor. So it is basically a full health showcase first, and then full potential. So this is a Cremator I'm using. Basically prefix is disabled, the 4-star works, and damage while aiming will be working, and my armor 25% bonus will be working. Unfortunately, if you do not have legendary at all, you cannot have a legendary Cremator. Non-legendary Cremator will not perform very well, because, unfortunately, in case of non-legendaries, the DoT need to go through fire resistance on enemy, and this one is a 1-star, and I did really good, almost killing this 1-star in here. The second application will kill it, and legendary super mutants have way more health than non-legendary, so non-legendary, if I shoot it, so we can see the impact damage is almost non-existent. There is explosive elements, so there is this factor that there is an explosion, but does almost no damage, so equipping Demo Expert and so on, it's about pointless, so you don't want to do it. There's no reason, in my opinion, to equip stuff like Demo Expert. Try to boost the explosion when it's so little. If you want to have damage on impact, you can, so this other one that I have with Polished. So this other one will do really good on impact. See the headshot for 700 in here. On this one, if I go for a torso shot, yeah, it's like half of the health taken, and then DoT is being applied. You can see as well that the Polished one is doing definitely higher damage than Pyromaniac's one. Pyromaniac's one is way easier accessible, and this is a full health. As well, I am on fire. Yes, you can set yourself on fire with this weapon and you'll be taking damage. The same with explosions. If I fire close, I'm taking damage from explosion and then from the DoT. And how much damage I'm taking, it's affected by how much I boosted damage on the weapon overall. We'll cover a little bit more details about mechanics, but let me drop half and show you the full potential. So in the Nerd Rage, this polished one, so this super powerful one, as you can see, 3000 DoT already. Other one, 2700, but then we do have Pyromaniac, so it's good. And I want to show you this one. That's what I'm normally using. And we are on the private server, so you can see this DoT effect running very smoothly on the health bar on the Super Mutant. It's not the case on Adventure. We jump to Adventure in a moment, so I will explain you what the difference is. Now, the DoT, the more damage I have, the less fire resistance on those enemies matter, and because I cannot use any anti-armor effects, that's why this weapon shines when I'm able to play as a Blooded and apply really high DoT. You can see they melting really fast and actually die super fast. There is some bonus to the fact that I don't need stabilized. There is more spread. If I want more spread, I can have more spread. And in first person, it's still doing that. If you want to fire twice as fast, you fire then aim, it fires again. It fires a bonus shot. It uses ammo, but it doesn't care about fire rate. It can fire above its fire rate. No idea why is it like that. It doesn't work like that in the third person. It's only in the first person view. So a very friendly weapon to use in first person view. There is the Super Mutant just behind those doors. About the damage while aiming, this, when you are firing far away, it only matters in the moment of impact. So you need to aim before the projectiles hit. You don't really need to aim when you are firing. Those are too close in here to do that, so I need to aim first. But if they would be far away, I could fire normally and then start aiming. You can see they burn and they are dead. About tougher enemies, so let's do a little bit of a Scourge Beast showcase, then Adventure server. So let's take the best damage dealing Cremator for that. Of course, Cremator is not the best killer for tough enemies, unfortunately, even if I boost damage to the maximum. So I use Chem to boost my damage. I stack the Adrenaline, so I will get the Scourge. You don't really need to aim for the head. The DoT will be the same if I aim for the head or not. The impact damage will go up, like if I aim for the head. The impact damage is going up, but that's it. The DoT not affected, so it's not really too much point in aiming. If I pop one, let's hope it can catch with the Scourge Beast, and unfortunately, no. That's other problem. Okay, this one hit. Those projectiles have a life spawn, so if I fire up, it will disappear after a moment, and it's not just a visual, it's just gone. The projectile is gone. Projectile is gone. If it doesn't fall down in this time, it will not do anything. So now, you can see amount of DoT it's being done to level 100 Scourge Beast Legendary, so very tough one. So this is a really good DoT. This is not a little amount of damage, this is a really good DoT. And that's the homing projectile, but because of limited lifespan, they will quite often not hit when the target is far away. So now she's closer. I can aim and hit her. I don't know if my adrenaline is still running. No, it doesn't. I'm at 3,400. The full damage is a little bit higher. But I shoot her about 4 times. Or 3. That will be 4. Okay, that will be the 4th shot. And you can see almost with all this DoT, but who will be waiting like that? So this is not a weapon for bosses. This is not a weapon for tough enemies. So if I want to fire in VATS, I can then aim after to still apply the aiming bonus. And then she's dead, so that was 5 shots, 50 seconds of waiting if you want to kill her by the DoT alone. So this is way too long, only 10%. So 3,500. I can get to about 4k with fully boosted adrenaline Let's see if we may find a crowd somewhere. One good thing about the DoT, it will bypass all kind of damage mitigation like tough spot or what robots have. Some robots like special damage mitigation, that's not just more health. Most enemies no longer has those options, so it's not very often useful, but if you have an enemy that can hide like a crab or like some Milux inside the shell and it's hard to hit them, the DoT doesn't care. You apply the DoT and it will do the damage. Doesn't care where you hit it, how you hit it. If there is barely any impact, you can see the impact damage is very low, but they do keep dying. That doesn't matter how much impact damage is there. There is adrenaline 60% damage, and now my weapon is... okay, it doesn't go any higher than that. 3,700. I was thinking for a moment it's closer to 4K. Maybe not. Maybe not. So 3,700, and this other one without polish, 3,200, but extra damage will be applied. Now, adventure server. What I didn't mention, and not everyone knows, the DoT cannot stack with itself. So you cannot stack multiple DoTs with the Cremator. All you can do is refresh. When you fire again, the DoT will just refresh. And now, in case of those enemies, see, I hit it, and you cannot really see on the health bar any movement. But then it's dead. I mean, it is dead just standing there, being dead, which is odd. Oh, now fall over. So I shoot them. So you can see the DoT is being applied, and they do die. But this health bar is not so smooth. There is not so smooth movement on the health bar. It's just big jumps. So it does work, but server lag causes it to not display in a smooth way. It does work the same, so it does the damage. It's just the fact that you don't see the health bar moving. And they even fall down so slowly. I don't know what's going on with this server. Why the super mutant is falling over in slow motion? That's a different story. So super mutants falling in slow motion. Even in instant interiors, operations, or expeditions, the server lag is the same. It's only smooth on private server. So in here, you see, I shot it. Like, huge jump, half health lost, and the rest of the health lost. You need to be quite careful to don't shoot yourself too much. I almost ended my character. Look at this guy. It doesn't even show a fire marker underneath. But it is visually burning. Let's see how bad this server is. It should take... yeah. It just randomly dies without displaying anything. That's the problem with server lag. At least one quite reliable fact, they do burn. So you can visually see that you applied the DoT. And if your damage is high, they will die. So you don't need to worry after setting them on fire. I can keep running. Like, I can leave it. I don't even need to be close. As long as I know that I applied the DoT. As long as I know that I applied the DoT, I can run. And as you can see, I'm getting experience. So I'm getting experience from all those kills. And that's why this weapon is mainly used as event tagger. As you can apply the DoT and you will get experience. You don't even need to be close in there. And it can cover quite wide areas, so not bad at all for this purpose. And continuously getting all the experience. And one of them, that's additional use case. If they're in the hard to access spots, you usually can just lob a projectile in there and they will die. So it is working. It is quite powerful. It does require to spec into its damage, otherwise it's not very effective. The good news, you don't need too many perks to make it roll. I even needed to unequip my bullet shield as they were dying from that too. So you don't need too many perks to make it really shine. So this is the Cremator. This is what you need to know. If you still have any questions, please let me know and I will try to answer. For now, thank you all for watching and see you all in the next one.